the walls of Carthage, a grand battle will take place. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish, and welcome back once again to some more Total War Rome 2. Today we are diving right back in with an epic siege of Carthage in a 4 vs 4, and I was told that this battle has some pretty goddamn crazy sally outs, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as the assault on the walls does take place. And it's always great to see kind of these additional battles being taken place and just like, you know, other interesting stuff than just kind of a slog through the city. So I'm always happy to see that. And as I said, this is a 4 vs 4, so there are plenty of factions. I believe attacking, we have Epirus, we have the Nabatea, we have Athens, and another faction which we can't quite, oh, way over here, sorry, and the Seleucids. Then defending, we have the Numidians, we have Carthage, we have the Vidate, that's a Shogun 2 faction. The dudes north of the Danube, Dacia, that's the faction I'm thinking of, and also the Parthians as well. So a nice little mix of factions. We're going to have a mix of Eastern, we're going to have a mix of Punic, we're going to have a mix of Barbarian. It's going to be a very exciting battle with obviously the Hellenic twist in there, and also the African as well with the Nabatea. So lots of different interesting factions which are going to be brought to bear in this epic showdown. And, you know, as always, Carthage is such a beautiful looking city. It really is. That it just provides plenty of very exciting engagements. I feel like Carthage is really good because it's massive. The settlement is really big. However, it's not like too big. Like, I feel like the settlement of Rome is just too big to have a good 4 vs 4. There's just too many streets, there's too much space to basically defend. Whereas Carthage, I think, provides a nice middle ground to the settlement, and yeah, it gives a very, very exciting battle map where you can choose to defend the outer layers, or you can choose to defend the inner layers. Speaking of which, it doesn't seem like the defenders are planning whatsoever to hold these walls, at least initially. Maybe they will mount the walls once the siege towers have arrived, but now they are not planning on trying to defend this initial charge down as the siege towers get brought closer and closer. You can see some cavalry moving in the distance. We're not missing anything, right? No, we are not. We're just seeing the attackers move around. Yeah, we're looking from the defender's point of view so we can see everything they are doing. Oh, it does, however, seem like we do have some slave infantry up here, just men who are basically here to die on the walls. Slowly, you know, just basically to slow down the enemy, maybe act as a meat shield as the arrow fire comes flying up, hitting the northern parts of the siege towers and the infantry as they come flying off. Oh, there's also see like a lot of men. How the hell did all these guys die here? Did they get hit by, like, archer fire? Maybe artillery, but I didn't really know how the artillery would kill that many with that, like, arc. I must have missed that. We also have these bad boys as well, the tortoises, who are just going to be smashing down the wall. Great way to make a breach. And whenever you're playing like a competitive siege battle, these are a must bring, you know. You don't need the ammunition. They're completely free. They don't take up a slot like artillery does. And they just smash down the walls and they're basically impossible to kill. So it's basically just a guaranteed breach. So you definitely always want to bring these whenever you're playing a super serious siege because, yeah, they're just too good not to bring. That's probably one of the reasons why we're not seeing a lot of men on the walls, besides a handful of other Persian infantry. We do have some hillmen up here, obviously super cheap, going to get slaughtered by the 4-axe, but again, 1, they're slowing up the enemy, and 2, they're going to also be, you know, holding them in place for archers to hammer this, and that's exactly what is happening. We have some heavy spears there, and I imagine, yeah, we also have the Dacian heavy bowmen, which is just going to be firing into the sides. And this is the quickest way to be taking down the 4-axe. So that's, I guess, one of the reasons as well you see a lot of the wall battering rams being brought to play. Because it just basically, you make a breach and you don't have to fire over the walls, and you don't have to worry about losing 20 men to archer fire in the side as the arrow fire continues just to hammer in. I mean, it does look pretty gnarly as well. See the arrow going in. But yeah, as you can see, Carthage is fully under siege. You've got breach points flying around. You've got infantry running through the breach. However, they are going to be met by some, I think, the same unit. Mercenary Sarmatians. And is this Mercenary Sarmatians coming in as well? I know, these are mercenary Italian spears going in. So the swordsman should win. However, it does seem like there's a lot of spearmen breaking through the ranks and actually getting pretty deep into this battle line. Both mercenaries are going at it, though. Very, very low tier, well, not low tier infantry, but early period infantry, I should say. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw more men reinforcing. That's exactly what's going to be happening with Desert Legionaries moving into position quickly to help reinforce these positions, because you definitely, as a defender, never want your positions to be overrun this early on in the battle. So committing more men to it is obviously going to be extremely useful indeed. We're seeing more men being brought to the fight, diving in, and basically just getting stuck in it as best as they can, trying to whittle down the numbers, and they're going to do a good job. Obviously, you already see these mercenary Italians being brought down, but more Nabatean axemen being advanced forward, the reserves being thrown into position. I love the look of these guys as well. Very, like, one of the cool deal. Like, but I think this like faction really got one of the benefits in the DLC packs that they got given. No, this is definitely a good one. Sorry, I'm going to have to turn off my reshader. It's looking really weird on OBS, and I don't want to, like, it's looking kind of blurry on my OBS, so I want to avoid that as much as I can. So we'll just turn it off for now, and I'll try and reset. Oh, it looks so gross, so going back to this. It's just sharpness, but I don't know. I don't want it to look really blurry for you guys. Hopefully it'll be okay. We'll just leave it on because it looks so gross once I've turned it off. Anyway, so yeah, back on the Seleucid side, we can see they are fighting tooth and nail for the positions up here, trying their best to break through, and they're obviously doing a great job here. But I mean, these hillmen are trading so efficiently with the four-axe swordsmen because of the arrow fire coming in, and also the towers as well. They've even gone ahead and advanced some more Gate infantry up there. The breach points have occurred, and we do have some four-axe swordsmen charging forward, but they're going to be met by some mercenary heavy axes, along with some heavy spears back there. It's not going to be the easiest time of it to actually fully break through this. You can see men being thrown overboard. Oh, and it does seem like they are actually going to fall back from this position. Or at least maybe reform. Maybe try and set up another position where their archers can be a bit more useful. Definitely not a bad idea. It also seems like these axemen aren't even really fighting right now. If we take a look at the overall field of the battle, we can see that we have obviously a heavy contingent of infantry just diving forward, trying to break through. And we do have some horsemen here, and I guess these guys are just biding their time, ready to push forward. Oh, nice. We also have a pretty cool position all the way up here. Yeah, a bunch of archers ready to cover this position when the enemy come further down. That's a pretty crazy battlefield in front of us. We zoom in a bit, you see up in the distance, more infantry going on. God, it looks so blurry from a distance. Look at that, look at the models. Oh my god, that looks awful. I mean, we are pretty far out, but even still, the LODs are, yeah, pretty insane. But yeah, more of the fighting going in. Lots of archer fire. Oh, and this could be our standing there. This is just still friendly archers who maybe got a little bit too close. See more infantry being thrown forward, artillery coming in, I guess trying to maybe even hit the infantry back there or continue to push on. And the walls of Carthage have just been decimated. I mean, look at that. The walls of Carthage are no more. They really aren't. With all the infantry coming in, the artillery going overhead. And yeah, this siege tower can't even land now because there's nowhere for it to come down. But Carthage is not going to give up these breach points easily. They've got a lot of desert legionaries in there fighting tooth and nail for the derelict walls. Well, the desert legionaries are a very solid unit. And again, you know, these are the advantages the defenders have right now. They could pepper the ever-living crap out of this infantry unit on this breach point if they wanted to, you know. They're elevated, there's going to be no risk of friendly fire. And it's really up to the defenders to utilise these points. We've got more archer fire coming in as well. Try to pick up any of these. Oh yeah, a lot of archer fire as well going on back on the archers back here. It's a smart idea by the attackers. Trying to whittle down the enemy's range ability. The capability is always a very smart thing to do. And you can see it's actually racking up a lot of kills. Almost breaking this unit of Dacian bowmen right off the bat. Oh, and it does seem like the defenders have decided to fall back. A very smart decision considering they can't hold this breach. So chances are they would just be overrun if they tried to hold this one. So they fell back once again. A nice move there. You know, just being pushed back step by step, but still holding the line. You know, you're never going to be able to defend every single breach point as the defenders. However, you can do a pretty good job at just keeping the enemy at bay. Indeed, whatever it takes to not give up this position. That is what the Noble Sword said. So I'll have to see if they can make that happen. And a direct hit there with the artillery strike coming in, taking out another 4 or 5 of these Desert Legionaries. These Dacian bowmen still not have been brought back. So they're just being hammered still. However, over on the Seleucid and the Athenian side of things, it's looking kind of a bit, not like desperate, but they're definitely being bogged down. I mean, there's a lot of infantry being just committed to this, slowly breaking through bit by bit. Like, it's a very slow process. But these walls have been completely cleared out by the Persians and the Dacians. And there's not really looking like there's much more to come, you know? Just got some mercenary hoplites here holding this breach point, a solid unit. Everything else is looking pretty solid, and the Persians have plenty of reserves they can move up when and if needed. We have some Dacian cavalry here, which just come out and probably do a little bit of harassment, but got scared off. Didn't lose a single man. I don't know if they managed to get any kills either. 25 kills. We did get a good charge off on something, probably on these archers. So we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure as the fighting does continue, as more and more infantry does get pushed forward. And yeah, finally the Dacian archers are being brought back. They just can't really contend with the Cretan archers, and also the longbows of... Oh no, these are just mercenary Cretan archers. Yeah, they just can't contend. So bringing them back up the hill is definitely a smart idea. Got some Persian missile fire coming down as well. Definitely not a bad target to be hitting, considering how clumped up these Seleucids are. Both sides are using their ammunition, trying to create an opening for infantry to exploit and charge for them. I mean, that was pretty nice as well, with the infantry just piling in. It'd be cool if they were like constantly marching into the city. Now the interesting thing is, do they have any more of these wall smashing machines? They do. They have one more left, because once you use them, you can't pick them back up and destroy another piece of a wall, I don't believe, whatsoever. So it'd be interesting if they try to make another breach. Like, oh, they are. Yeah, this is what I love to see happen, as we do have the Persian sally out. I love to see the attackers not using all of their siege equipment immediately. I think it's always a great idea to keep a few pieces of siege equipment back, so that as the battle develops, you can create another breach point that the defenders might not be able to defend. Persian cataphracts though, on the open field, Ned. Persian cataphracts, and this is going to be a brutal. These 4-axe swordsmen are not formed up. And yeah, I mean, look at the devastation. They should definitely be trying to pull through now, trampling the infantry that they have knocked down to the ground. They are going to commit to this and stay in this fight. The Seleucid cavalry came rushing out as well to meet them. A lot of eastern cataphracts going up against the Seleucid cavalry, which is just light cavalry, so obviously they'll have the advantage. But we also have some medium cavalry as well, and the sword infantry coming in. But yeah, it's up to the Persians to constantly keep harassing, and yeah, look at that, 4 units of Persian light archers. These guys will break immediately if the cavalry charge can get stuck in. The other side, no, the Dacian cavalry is still just holding its ground. But yeah, there is nothing they can do to protect these Persian archers. I mean, obviously they could try and split them up as quickly as possible. You know, some of this cavalry could only go after one at a time. They're just going to Tokyo drift around that corner and dive right into these Persian archers. And I feel like it's already GG for these dudes. They picked the wrong side to fight on this day. These infantry could quite easily come in and help them, but I guess they weren't in voice or something, because the Athenian 4-axes are just leaving the Seleucid archers to die. Oh, we do also have some Dacians out here. Yeah, some Dacian cavalry, it seems, diving in, and again hitting a large amount of the missiles. So not a bad move whatsoever. The Persian cavalry continuing to cause mayhem in the back ranks. This unit has kind of been the sacrificial lamb, just diving in, getting some kills on some pikemen, getting kills on some cavalry, but for the most part not really achieving its major goal. Whereas this unit of cavalry right here has done great. Now the Seleucids are sending them back, as it does seem like the Athenians just have... Maybe this unit glitched out. It kind of looks like maybe the unit glitched out. It's like stuck. However, they are going to lose 3 units of their missiles. That's brutal. That is really brutal. Especially when they need the missiles to really break through this point. Because they've been struggling here since the beginning of a battle to push through and actually cause an opening for them to exploit. Also, wouldn't it be a bad idea for the Dacians to maybe try and sneak a unit of archers up here to shoot down on them? That'd be really deadly. Oh, it seems like as well these units are stuck up here as well. So brutal, man. Over on the other side, though, the Numidians are holding back Nabateans very nicely on these walls. They're fighting axemen as well, and axemen are obviously ideal for clearing out wall defenses. But it does seem like the Desert Legionaries with their huge scutum shields able to, you know, keep that balance on the walls and buy themselves valuable time for archer fire, javelin fire, and anything else they can think of to throw at the attackers. We also have more infantry actually making their way up to the walls. They really don't want to give these positions up, which obviously is not a bad idea, because if you control this area, you can quite easily then get archers up here to hammer away. And as you can see, the defenders are actually really scared of these sally outs, as the Persian cavalry is only just being finished off right now with the help of Epirus, which is not a bad unit. I mean, this unit of Persian cataphracts racked up a ton of kills, over 240 kills. Not bad. They definitely paid for themselves there. But the defenders are kind of, the attackers, sorry, are kind of scared. And we're not scared, but they're having to bring everything in, but they are making great progress. They have finally broken through the main courtyard at the gate and pushing up the stairs onto the rest of the Nabatean spearmen, who are now having to hold this position under heavy pressure. And this is also going to spell disaster for the Dacians. It's going to spell disaster, but they're kind of already broken already. The Athenians managing to find their way through. So the Persians are going to have to form up a new defense. I think they kind of already have formed up this defense right here with some heavy spearmen. And the nice thing is as well, or as that siege tower collapses down, the nice thing is for the defenders is that this is the only way up on this wall, so they can't really get outflanked. As long as they just keep hold of this stairway right here, they can't get overrun. However, we do have some 4x pikemen now being brought into the fight. And that's going to be super scary. Unless they have the missiles to deal with this, basically guarantees the attackers dominance over this area with these pikemen. And I think the Dacians may realize that and decide to actually fall back. Try and open up a side flank. I mean, it would not be a bad idea to maybe try and hold this area and then this area right here, form like a new box. So then the pikemen can't just, you know, frontally move forward. They have to kind of split. So we'll have to see how that does go. And again, obviously, if you can countercharge these pikemen as they get closer, it's always a smart idea. You know, if you charge them now, their pikes aren't down. Oh, the pikes do just go down, though, right on top of them. Oh, but look at that archer fire. A lot of missiles coming in from the Dacian heavy bowmen. Saved for this exact moment. And I think that's going to throw the pikemen back. They do not want to take another volley there. Yeah, I mean, that's always going to happen, though. Always, always, always going to happen. And we do have a massive push through here by the attackers, trying to make ground. Balance of power is still extremely even as well, guys. Extremely even. I don't know, but I kind of... Oh, chariots. Are they friendly chariots? Or are they... It's hard to kind of tell because everyone's a similar color. I think they are friendly chariots. Okay, good. For a second, I thought they might have managed to get some chariots in. I don't know. The balance of power is still very even, but there is only 10 minutes left of this battle, so maybe the attackers have enough. I honestly don't know. Like this is a battle that I just can't call myself personally. I'm finding it very difficult to call who is going to win this battle. And I do really apologize as well. For some reason on OBS, like this is like looking quite blurry, but for me it's completely sharp. So I don't really know why it is looking blurry, and obviously how YouTube compresses stuff. Hopefully it will look okay. Hopefully the armor sharpness and stuff doesn't make it look really gross on YouTube, because YouTube does compress the ever-living crap out of stuff. So hopefully it looks fine. Yeah, I really need to try and get back my old reshade setup, because that was much nicer than the one I've got right now. If anyone does have a nice preset, feel free to send it my way over on Discord. So at this point in the battle, it's really like the way this is going to crumble is if the attackers can make one breach point in the defense. Because now the defense is spread out across, I don't know, like 4 or 5 points. If you take a look. Yeah, you got a defense here, you got a defense here, and you got a defense here. So 3 points are all set up. As soon as one of these breach points collapse, that's going to be absolutely massive for the attackers. Because say, for example, if this right-hand side collapses, then all of a sudden you have all these spearmen coming around and opening up this breach point here. And then if this breach point collapses in the center, it opens up the other two to be completely overrun and outflanked. Luckily, this left-hand side is a bit more secure because they've been holding on for so long. So even if they do lose this position, they still have a nice Carthaginian setup right here with some, some mercenary Gallic warriors who will hold for a decent time. And then they have this stairway covered as well. So it's not really the end of the world. They also have a lot of their mercenary Cretan archers firing every single arrow they have into the Athenians as they try their best to make their way up the stairs. But as exhausting as it is, there is no other way. They have to find a way through this defensive line. Otherwise, all hope is lost. And the assault will be thrown into ash and darkness. I've also seen the animation as well, where the dude throws the guy over his shoulder like 7 times in this battle. Normally that's kind of a rare one, but today it is popping off everywhere. Oh, also they managed to get because the Dacians fell back a little bit. Yeah, the Seleucids actually managed to make their way up on this wall, which is really important because it allows them to outflank this gate. Once the gate goes down, they can then throw in more men more effectively. So clearing out this wall, you know, even if it is kind of late, it's not a bad idea. As I said, you can obviously utilize this, obviously due to his breach point, they can't really do it, but they can push back the Persian defense a little bit. And also, you know, hammer these men down here who are being hit. It does seem like the pikemen, though, have been completely cleaned out. Only like 10 or 12 of them. However, Carthage have a lot of men still left remaining, and they're going to be committing them over to that right-hand side. Reinforcing that position, realizing that if they lose that, things are looking pretty bad. Yeah, this is a massive cluster of infantry. Does seem like the Numidians are going to fall back and just try and form a better defensive line. Seeing that the enemy do have a lot of missiles, obviously not wanting to clump up massively, but also just utilizing that that strength, keeping the enemy at bay. You do have some more Nabatean axemen though, looking to reinforce this position when their time comes. Yeah, I mean there are some archers in there. There's some thorax in there. Still need some better quality infantry though if they do want to make that breach. And obviously they also have them javelins as well. The javelins can be very useful at this point in the battle. They really can. But the attackers are holding on well. And yeah, as I said, as long as this holds, like they're in a really good spot. They do have some more dudes who have now come around. This could be useful. Nice move there by the attackers. Going to be able to outflank them here and basically get them on the retreat. Because these hoplites, I don't really know where the hoplites are going though. So look how messed up this wall is as well. I don't really know where these guys are going. Maybe to open up this gate? But do they need to open up the gate? I mean, realistically, all this unit should be doing is trying to, surround these guys and pushing forward, sandwiching, pushing the defense back bit by bit. It looks like they're going to kill this artillery piece, but this artillery piece wasn't really doing anything. And these towers, they're just taking damage from the towers now. Now let's see, I mean, I guess they are drawing a desert cohort out, which obviously could be utilized here. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get this cavalry in right through here. Which again, I guess it's a fine play, but if this unit of sword infantry blocks the position, they're just taking arrow fire from the towers, and every man will count in this battle. Only 5 minutes left now. And I don't know, it's starting to seem like the attackers just will not have enough. But a big break here from the Numidians would be huge, and we've got fresh infantry now turning up to the fight, which you can never underestimate. Never ever underestimate a fresh unit of infantry turning up to a fight. These guys are going to cut, because the thing is, a lot of these guys are exhausted, whereas the axe infantry are fresh, which should give them that boost in stats very nicely. Yeah, there are 2 units of infantry up here, so I guess we're just looking to spread, maybe try and get some of their men through. It does also look like they have some artillery rounds left, which would be very useful to maybe try and clear this out. But yeah, these points, they just don't have enough men here. There's so much heavy infantry still left here. Oh, and we have some nice cavalry as well. Is this bow cavalry or javelin? Oh, this is bow cavalry. Probably some Mercian Scythians, maybe? Just bow horsemen. So not like a special unit. They're still just racking up a few shots, and these guys can be pretty gnarly at harassing back ranks, hit and run tactics. Generally, this cavalry will get hit fairly quickly by missile fire and go down fairly quickly from missile fire, but perfect opportunity to maybe try and take out this piece of artillery. And that, if that does have ammunition left, which I assume it must, that's a big blow to them. And we got some Persian cataphracts coming around here, all the cavalry now pouring out of the fight, and until this position is cleared out, then this cavalry is not getting in either. mean, the mercenary hoplites are holding. Like, the defenders are keeping this one, I think, on lockdown. There's not too much left. There's basically all the attacking infantry has now been committed to the front lines, which leaves all of these archers so vulnerable. And I think that's exactly what the Royal Cataphracts are going to go after. The attackers just couldn't get their cavalry inside the city fast enough. And I think even if they did, they might have struggled. But yeah, these cataphracts are trying to skirt their way through these defensive platforms, and I imagine going to go right after these archers who are now fleeing for their lives. Again, this infantry is stuck up here because there's no way down for them. It's so silly. It really is. But that is the nature of Rome 2, unfortunately. And as soon as the cavalry enters the field, I think that's going to be GG. I mean, we do obviously have the Emperor's cavalry coming over to try and stop them, but I think it's going to be far too late. And they might even just decide to go straight into the back of this infantry and break it. With only 3 minutes left, they can basically go wherever they want to and probably claim this one. It does seem like this infantry is going to try and stop them, but look at that, just getting ripped through. And if I was them, I'd carry on going. One of the important things to do, more so in Attila than Rome 2, but you need to keep the momentum up with your cavalry. When you charge into an unbraced infantry, you need to keep on going with it, because a lot of the kills come from trampling. So when you do have a heavy horse unit like this that can break the lines, you want to keep on going with it, because you'll rack up a lot more kills, especially with the trample bonus to them as well. Yeah, and the Athenians, their morale is dropping low. There's still a lot of arrow fire coming in, and I think that's going to be all she wrote. A very valiant assault. But with the Gati cavalry coming in, the Persians have plenty of reserves. The last of the reserves is being brought up as well at this point, sensing that victory is close at hand. They're bringing in another unit of infantry to defend the glorious city of Carthage. Carthage will not be destroyed this day. Yeah, they're committing everything in, sensing that victory is close. They want to really hammer home this victory and bring down the enemy. I definitely like what the enemy, the attackers did try and do in this battle. You know, they assaulted quite nicely. They just could not break through on these sides. And I think this northern side really struggled. As you can see, they barely made any progress. Being hammered on the walls was obviously pretty brutal. And because they couldn't really break through, they couldn't relieve the pressure on the main assault up the ladders and up the stairs, which really kind of caused, I think, the defeat. So you can probably just triple speed through the rest of this battle. Not really too much going on right now. The cavalry, it's just going to be like a mass rout towards the end. The attackers charging down at them. And yeah, you can see the morale dropping. And there you go. Everything just crumbles. Army attrition kicking in. Apparently there's still something sticking around. What's still alive? I'll probably be, yeah, these soldiers over here. The last of the Epirus men not realizing it. The Royal Peltis, no surprise there whatsoever. But yeah, GG indeed. It was a very, very exciting battle. I always love seeing Carthage, and I love to see sally outs. And 4v4s are obviously also pretty fun. So massive shout out to everyone who played in this battle. If you guys want to see the kills, you can quickly just pause it on any of these guys and really check out to see if, we missed all these chariots as well. They got 300 kills. God damn. God damn, I hate it when I miss something like that, because chariots are always such a fun unit. And look at that, Carthage didn't really have to do much. They obviously threw away their Gallic warriors, but besides that, then they just kind of sat back and let the attackers go forward. Then for the attackers, yeah, you can see some decent kills on all of them, pushing forward. Epirus doing very nice on a lot of their men, and Maslukids as well, racking up. These poor Persian light archers never stood a chance at all. So if you guys enjoyed that battle, if you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Be sure to send me in any replays that you guys have of Rome 2 or any Total War, honestly. If it's a good battle, it's a good like 2v2 large armies, 4v4, 3 vs 3, or it's a really good strategic battle, send it my way. I'm always accepting replays over on my Discord. Link is in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one.